India has perhaps the most exciting market as far as aviation is concerned in the world. We'll have the cost capability to offer the most affordable fares.
Welcome to TOI Business Bytes. As air traffic hits an all-time high and the government looks to push for affordable air connectivity, India recently saw the launch of a low-cost airline, Akasa Air. Chatting up with us on its expansion plans and the road ahead for Indian aviation is Vinay Dube, the CEO of Akasa Air. Welcome to the show, Vinay. Thank you for being with us. So, Vinay, my first question to you is that how does India's aviation market look when compared to those internationally, both in terms of the passengers' capacity to pay and the airport infrastructure?
So thank you for having me first. I think India has perhaps the most exciting market as far as aviation is concerned in the world.
Okay.
I'll come to passengers' propensity to pay and airport infrastructure in a second. But I think what is most noteworthy is just this incredible amount of growth that we're going to see in India for aviation demand over the course of the next 20, 30 years. Certainly in my lifetime in aviation, which is very, very exciting. Over time, as GDP grows, as disposable income grows, you'll have a greater propensity for people to pay, and that's part of the reason why aviation demand is growing.
Right.
And the good news is our government has done a lot over the last few years to build airport capacity. We've gone from 70 airports to 150 airports, and we're well on our way to 200 airports. And by the way, these airports aren't just a number, because it's important to have airport capacity in some of the most key markets. Bengaluru has grown. We've got Navi Mumbai coming up. We've got new airports in the Delhi area coming up. Hyderabad and Chennai have added capacity. So from an airport infrastructure perspective, I think we're going to almost keep pace with aviation demand, which for the world's fastest growing aviation market is quite something.
Okay. So you feel that the propensity to pay will also grow as GDP expands?
As GDP grows, as the middle class grows, absolutely, 100%. And that's normal. It's not just a propensity for aviation to grow, but it's a propensity for cars, it's a propensity to pay for housing, it's a propensity to pay just for a better way of life.
Okay. And so when it comes to Akasa Air, what are the routes that you're looking to expand to, both domestically and internationally?
So first, I will say as an airline, we don't signal actual future routes that we're thinking of. So I will stay away from individual city pairs or routes. Domestically, we will continue doing more of what we have done so far, which is build capability from the metro to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and that's what we will continue to do as we've been doing now. And internationally, we're very excited. We hope to launch our first international route by the end of this year.
Okay.
In terms of cities that we're thinking of, they're all within the range of where the 737 MAX flies, which is actually best in class. So a lot of the Middle East, a lot of Southeast Asia, it could be Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. This is the circumference of where we're thinking internationally.
The government has really been pushing for affordable air connectivity through the UDAN scheme. So where does Akasa Air, see itself fitting into this, especially when there are cost pressures on airfares and everything? How do you see yourself emerging in that space?
Right. So I would say the UDAN scheme has nothing to do with cost pressures or any other competitive element of aviation. I think the UDAN scheme has been designed to encourage and enable actually traffic in some of these areas which ordinarily it would take a longer period of time for traffic to be developed. I think it's a fantastic scheme, and I think Akasa will participate under the right circumstances, and the right circumstances being the right mix of routes relative to the type of aircraft that we have. So we're very excited about it. We think it's an excellent scheme, and we look forward to participating.
Okay.
And we think it's great for the country as well.
Right. What are the kind of passengers that you're looking to target? Is it entry-level airfare people, or is it people who are looking to travel from AC trains or luxury buses? Are you looking to get those onto Akasa Air?
I'd say it's that plus.
Okay.
So I'd say on the one side, we'll have a cost structure that will be leading in India, which means we'll have the cost capability to offer the most affordable fares for the types of customers that you have outlined. But on the other side, we believe that the customer experience and the service excellence that Akasa has taken to the market, including being India's most on-time airline, is something that the business traveler, the high-end traveler will all gravitate toward.
Okay. India's aviation market is fairly turbulent, and in the last few years, we've seen some airlines actually hit an air pocket. So, where do you see the Indian aviation sector heading in terms of airlines and your ability to expand, do business, be profitable?
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, when you've got the kind of exciting aviation demand out there for the next 20, 30 years, my view is perhaps the most exciting time for the future of Indian aviation. I'm not going to comment on, some of the other airlines and historically what's happened to them. I can tell you that for airlines that have this very strong, professional, empowered management team, where they have set the airline up correctly from day one, where they've got the right cost structure, they've got the right strategy, they've got an ability to really deliver a best-in-class consumer experience, where they've created this employee-centric airline. For those types of airlines, I would say the future is sort of incomparable today relative to any other point in history. And that's the point where we've come in and why we're so excited, because we believe we've got this professional management team, people with deep aviation experience. By the way, I'm not just referring to myself, I'm referring to the multiple people that don't get to face the camera.
Right.
Those are the people that we're most proud of because they come with this deep aviation experience and they're empowered to make decisions, which is why we believe that we will stand the test of time as far as airlines are concerned in India.
Okay, so Vinay, tell me, where do you see the market size heading in the next few years, and how are the allied infrastructures coming up, whether it is, regards to the maintenance and repair and operation of aircraft within India? Do you think, are we expanding well there?
From a long-term aviation demand, I don't have a number for you, but I will say that I fully expect in the next 15 years for us to be able to add, between 1,500 to 2,000 aircraft.
Right.
So we will, more than triple in size over the course of the next 15 years. And this is, plus or minus. Like I said, either way, you can translate that loosely to this really humongous growth that we are going to experience. In terms of the supporting infrastructure, I think, as far as MRO capabilities, I don't believe that's going to be an issue. We've already got, 3 good big players here, and I think you'll see that expand over time. We've got CFM that's announced, their intention to build engine maintenance facilities, and I say that because our aircraft are powered by CFM engines. I think India has been this sort of pilot factory for the world. We've been a net exporter of pilots because I think we've got this incredibly high skill set that we can develop. We've got a very young demographic. So I think in terms of skills, it's never been a problem.
Right.
Again, India is the human capital of the world and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. I think it goes back to the question you asked on airport infrastructure. And again, given the focus that the government has had in airport infrastructure, I'm not concerned. Do I believe airport infrastructure will outpace demand? I don't think so.
Right.
But as an airline guy, I think having just a slight constraint of airport infrastructure is actually not bad from an airline perspective. And that's where I think we're headed. So overall, I don't believe there's going to be any imbalance between demand and supply or demand and aviation capability in the country.